What's going on, guys? It is Hunter here and Jake, and we're back. Poll. We're about to get there. BoogiePod, episode 50, baby. Big 5-0. We have no special guest here. We could have got some people, but I didn't really want them to do it. And then we tried to get Dad to do it, and then he has to hand out candy because it's a special Halloween event, too. So, how crazy is that? Episode 50 drops on Halloween. Ain't that nuts? I gotta fix my dang mic. There we go. That's close enough. Anyway, but yeah, so we got exciting things to talk about, as always. Football, all that good stuff, you know. Nothing really basketball related, even though next week will be our last BoogiePod before college basketball starts. So that's always interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting. NFL talk about. UFC, another weird main event thing happened. And besides that, it's really all. So, kick it off. But as always, Jake, how was your week?
Pretty good.
That's good. It's good. So let's kick it off. We're going to be in a little rush because Jake has pizza on the way. So, big rush. Big rush. All right.
Nope.
Let's do Boogie Poll. Jake, I'll let you start. You got any honorable mentions?
I actually do this time.
Okay.
Illinois, they're flying under the radar because they really don't have an offense, but they don't lose besides once. And I have Ole Miss as my honorable mention.
Okay.
Number 2.
I have Oklahoma State as my honorable mention.
I forgot. That's a good one, yeah.
And Ole Miss. The only reason I can't sneak Oklahoma State in there is because they got absolutely train wrecked. That was bad. Bad pick on my part. And Ole Miss on there because they had a close game with Texas A&M. They don't deserve to be in the top 12 no more. I'll let you kick it off. Go with 12.
My 12 is Kansas State. Big dub over Oklahoma State. Shut them out. That is something I did not see coming. I think we both picked Oklahoma State to win that game, but they didn't get close, so Kansas State deserves it.
Yep, they do. And I'm going number 12. I'm going Illinois. I agree with you. Flying under the radar. I just have them like a one spot ahead there. So I agree with you. All the points you brought up. Illinois has a great defense, but no offense, like you said. So
yeah,
go ahead with
11. I have Utah. Everyone's counting them out because they have 2 losses because they can't make the playoff, obviously, but they're still a really good team. Kind of a tragedy that they have 2 losses right now because they're still really good.
Yeah, I agree. They're like you said. We said after that Florida loss at the beginning of the year that they'd be kicking themselves for that one. So definitely are now. At 11, I have Kansas State. Awesome win against Oklahoma State. I got them at 11. Blew them out, and they're back into ruining playoff hope business. So put them at 11. They're back at where they do best.
Yeah. 10. I have USC. Still solid. They barely squeaked by Arizona State. It was Arizona. At Arizona, which is kind of a little benefit of the doubt there because I think their offense is really good and I respect Caleb Williams a lot. But it was kind of a close call. Yeah,
I agree with you. I dropped them for that reason. I got them at 10 as well. With you, I got them at 10. I had them a little higher, but again, I agree with you. The sus, you got to be able to blow out those types of teams, and that's why you're at 10. So that's why I dropped you.
Yep. They're putting up the points. Defense ain't helping them out. Number 9, I have UCLA. Very good team. They fly under the radar because they have no fans, sadly. It's a shame. Best stadium. We always said it a million times.
Yep.
But, yeah, UCLA number 9.
I agree. I also have no, I'm sorry. I do not. My apologies. I have TCU number 9. Got TCU number 9. I dropped them a lot. I think a West Virginia team is a team that you should be able to go in there and handle. They didn't. Yeah. They didn't at all. They beat them by 10 points, but it really was closer than 10 points. So I got to drop TCU, and that sucks because I just had them like verge of top 4, and then after that I'm just like, I can't do that. So they're getting dropped to 9.
So I thought I'd be the one that dropped TCU the lowest, but I actually have an 8.
Okay.
I went back, looked at their schedule. I mean, they have a decent. I know this isn't resume based right now, but they have a pretty good resume. But all their games are so close.
Yeah.
They have no defense, and it's just like the offense is there, but defense never really shows up ever. But I have TCU at 8. Still a good team on playoff watch. See what happens.
100%. Yeah, at 8, I have UCLA. So you got both those kind of flipped there. So I'm going UCLA 8. Like you said, no fans, so they're flying under the radar. But if they win out, they still have a chance to make the playoffs, depending on what the other teams do around them. So, UCLA 8.
Okay, my 7 is Oregon. I think I've kept them around the same range last time. They're still everyone wrote them off after Georgia. That's all everyone ever talks about. But they've looked good ever since. Kind of handled a trap game against Cal a little bit at Cal. Beat them by a solid 20-some points. So Oregon's still there.
Yep, I agree. I have Oregon at 7 as well. very similar list we have here. We're agreeing this time around, especially after the most difference we had last one. We got very similar ones besides a couple of places. But I also have Oregon 7, like you said, ever since the Georgia game, they've been on fire, and they've definitely figured it out. And you go on the road and beat any team by 20 points. I'm okay with that. So,
my 6 now is Alabama. Man, they only have one loss, so they're still obviously a top team.
Mm-hmm.
Barely lost to Tennessee, who I have ranked pretty high, obviously. They play LSU at LSU. This game is going to have big implications in the West. It's kind of a trap game. I think LSU has a good chance, but for now, Alabama's number 6.
Yep. Okay, at number 6, I have Clemson. I would have them higher with the undefeated record, but I can't put them up above some teams because they've struggled in games where I feel like they should look good in, and they've kept a lot of games close, and they have a big trap game coming up against Notre Dame this week where they're barely favored, and Notre Dame has looked better in the last 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens there. Clemson traditionally doesn't play good at Notre Dame either. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, my 5 is Michigan.
Okay.
It'll make sense. I'll tell you about my next pick as to why they're number 5, because this is a power rating, obviously. Gotta remind everybody. But Michigan's super solid. Their season comes down to the Ohio State game, as it does every year. But for now, they kind of struggled against Michigan State a little bit more than you'd like at Michigan. So, still for 5 for now.
Okay. At number 5, I have Alabama. They, like you said, they have a big trap game coming up, but ever since the Tennessee game, they've handled business for the most part. But obviously, we'll get to the LSU and Alabama game later in our pick'ems. But interesting matchup there, and they'll really get to show where they kind of stand.
Okay, 4. I disrespected Clemson a little bit last week. I have a little too low. This week, they barely might have them too high, but from now I'm gonna put them at 4, just based on matchups against Michigan and Alabama. Especially against Michigan, I would like Clemson because they're good against the run. Michigan runs the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clemson can stop that and barely squeak out that game. Alabama, if you shut down Jahmyr Gibbs, you're probably going to win. I think Clemson could do that. Close game again, but for now, I'm going to put Clemson at 4, a little higher on them.
Okay, at 4, I have Michigan. Even though the Michigan State game did not look pretty and they had all that stuff at the end, they still beat them by like a handy, more than 20 points. And more than 20 points against your rivals at home, against a solid Michigan State team that was ranked early on in the year. I'm not going to drop you any for that. I'm not going to give you any praise for it either, but you took care of what you need to take care of, so let's move on. So I'll keep them at 4 now where I got them.
Yeah, my 4, Clemson, Michigan could flip-flop for me.
Yep.
It could be either way, so it's like a 4A, 4B thing. So my 3 now is Georgia. Put Georgia at 3. 1, 2, and 3 is really close. Biggest game of the season coming up, at least for the regular season, against Tennessee. Got a little close with Florida, but they ended up blowing them out because Billy Napier's he's something else.
Yeah.
He completely fumbled at any chance they had, fumbled it in a matter of 10 minutes. But Georgia's obviously still really good. So.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. 3, I got Georgia. Same reasons you just mentioned. That's it.
Yeah. My 2 is Ohio State. So we're going to have a new number 1 on my poll. Ohio State played Penn State really close. Offense was terrible for the first 3 quarters. Then all of a sudden put up 30 points in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Because of, I forgot Penn State's quarterback's name, but he threw 3
Sean
interceptions.
Clifford.
That game was still close. Yeah, he's not very good. He threw 3 touchdown passes, but I don't know. It was at Penn State, so you got to give him a little bit of leeway. And they still won by in the teens at least.
20s.
So it was 20s,
really?
So. Was it really?
It was
41 to 30 or something. Regardless, they still pulled it out and won by a good margin.
Yeah.
So can't really drop too much for that.
Yep. At 2, I have Tennessee. I still have them at 2. I still think they look better in Georgia, but I still think they look just a smidge worse than Ohio State. Just a smidge. I don't have a lot of stock in Kentucky, so that's why I didn't like. And a blowout's very, very impressive, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that blowout. So I'm not gonna. It's not so much what they did. They handled business, took care of them, and if they beat Georgia this coming weekend, no matter how, they're obviously going to be 1 for me. So I think their time's still to prove here, and then it's more about the team I have above them about what they did more than this Tennessee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my 1, as I said before, is Tennessee. Impressed with Kentucky defense actually showed up for once and shut them down. I thought it was going to be kind of one of those weird games where Kentucky would sneak up and score quite a bit amount of points because they have a good rushing offense, but Tennessee's just good against the run, and Will Levis can't throw the ball. But I'm going to put Tennessee at 1 for now, so I was going to make another point. Completely forgot. But we'll see, though. We'll see who's really number one team coming up. Because whoever wins this next game, Tennessee and Georgia, is the number one team in the country.
Yeah. I think at number 1 I have Ohio State. And it's really just because, Tennessee and Ohio State both played ranked teams. One played their ranked, and both of them were rival games. One played them at home, one played them away, and they were both blowouts. So I gave the 1-2 away advantage. That's it. They're 1A, 1B to me. It's nothing crazy. So I got Ohio State 1 there. Nothing crazy there. So let's move on to our pick'ems. No, wait. Okay, no. It's NFL that you caught up on me on, which we'll get to later. But college football, I am 16-7 on the year. You are 14-9 on the year. So let's kick it off here. Number 2, Tennessee at number 1, Georgia. Kicking off very first game we'll pick. Biggest game of the year so far.
Sadly, I got to go Georgia.
Okay.
I can't be biased. Being at Georgia is my main factor because I think Tennessee has all the tools to beat Georgia, but I just think it's too much to go to Georgia and beat them. That's all it comes down to for me.
All right. Well, there you go. So we're both going Georgia. I just, like you said, it's at Georgia. I think if Tennessee gets within, if they get within a touchdown, it's less than 7 points, and that's not like a fluke or something like that. Like they actually deserve to be within 7 points. I think they're the number 1 team in the country. I don't know if I'll put them there, but I'm just saying they probably are. But if it's like more than 7, then I say Georgia's probably the number 1 team in the country, but close. Just if you're Tennessee, and obviously excluding the chances of going in there and upsetting, let's say there's no chance of that. So you go in, you automatically lose, right? Let's say that. Make it as close as possible for the playoff. For the playoffs, you need that game to be as close as possible. Because if it's a blowout, it's really going to hurt your chances of a win-loss not being able to get in there. So, because you're not going to be able to make the SEC championship. So, but if you beat Georgia, don't got to worry about it. Then the ball's in your court. So, all right, move on. Number 6, Alabama at number 15, LSU.
I want to take LSU really bad because I think Alabama's going to suck come Saturday at LSU. I'm going to take Alabama, but kind of scary close game because Alabama's bad on the road now. For some reason, everyone knows it. Got to go Alabama. Can't pick against them. Okay.
I respect the pick, and they're probably going to win, and I'm going LSU. I'm picking LSU on the road. Obviously, Alabama struggled all year on the road, and I think LSU is starting to click a little bit. They're starting to figure it out, and I think they figure it out here. So I think they win.
Okay.
My whole family's being like cards right now. Shut the door. My goodness. All right, go ahead. Oh, wait. Sorry. Yeah, you already picked it. Okay. Number 21, NC State. At number 20, Wake Forest. Who you got?
I'm going to have to go Wake. They just lost to Louisville, which is really bad.
Killed, too.
But NC State has no quarterback now, so it should be a pretty easy win for Wake.
You would hope.
I'm going to go Wake. Yeah. You would think.
I'm going it being at Wake. NC State has no quarterback. NC State's looked bad with no quarterback. Give me Wake. I think they handle business here. So, give me the Demon Deacons. All right. Let's move on to my playoff pool right now. We had 4 teams get eliminated last week. 4 out of the playoff hopes. That is, let's see if you name the 4. See if you got it. That's tough because you don't really think about it. Oklahoma State's out. Yep. 3 more.
Was Penn State? He's out there now.
Penn State's out. Penn State's out.
Okay.
Both these are ACC teams.
Syracuse.
Yep.
And Wake.
Yep, there you go. Okay. So those are the 4 out. Penn State, Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. They all now have 2 losses, so they all will probably not be in there, which leaves now 13 teams. And I'm not going to go through them because that, gets annoying at some point. But still got 13. But that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams undefeated. And then that leads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with win-loss that can get in. So that's where we stand right now in the playoff pool. And then once that gets down closer towards the end of the season stuff, we'll start talking about that a lot more. But that's where we stand there. So let's go into a little headline right here. BRYAN HARSINS is now fired out of Auburn. Just kind of happened not too long ago. So what do you think about this firing, and who do you think's the next coach there, Jake?
I think this firing was probably deserved.
Yeah.
A little bit of controversy for the year. Everyone thought he was on a short leash. They were right. I think this is only his second year at Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it was deserved. They didn't. I guess they didn't want to wait out anymore because they need to get a head start on looking for new coaches, which is smart. But I got Lane Kiffin going there. I think it's pretty obvious. I think the checkbook will be wide open for Auburn. Say, hey, Lane Kiffin, how much money you want to leave Ole Miss?
Yep.
He's prone to leave. We all know that, especially Tennessee fans. He'll just get up and leave. But I don't blame him. Auburn has a better job than Ole Miss. So I think he's going to go to Auburn.
I agree with you. I also have him going to Auburn. I got Lane Kiffin going to Auburn. And I also think the fire would not have happened if all the controversy preseason did not happen. But that kind of forced their hand to give him such a short leash. And obviously now they've been terrible this year. So he's gone. And I don't know if he really got a fair shake there. But I always thought it was a bad hire from the get-go. He wasn't necessarily great at Boise State either, so I don't really understand where this hire kind of came from. So I think they got it wrong from the get-go, and everyone will look back at these 2 years of being just a waste in Auburn's development as a program, a waste. Yeah. So it's a setback. Maybe Lane Kiffin could bring him to the promised land, and we'll see. Or whoever it is, Deion Sanders, that'd be awesome. That'd be a dream, but whatever. So let's go. Let's move on. NFL Power 5. We're going to move on to the NFL here. Jake, got any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions right now. I'm gonna say the Niners, even though they have a bad record right now, but they're loaded.
Okay.
I wanted to put them in here, but I just can't. They have a few losses they shouldn't have. They lost the Broncos. It's a bad look, but they're honorable mentions for me.
All right, my honorable mentions are the Titans and then the Giants. The Titans haven't necessarily looked the best, but they keep winning. And then the Giants lost, so I knocked them out. But they're still on the kind of verge. They probably won't be there as we keep going forward. But they're just kind of now starting the trip down, I think, from their high. So we'll see what happens. But go ahead with your number 5.
My 5 is the Vikings.
Okay.
I think I put them in there once before, but they keep winning. A lot of their games are sneaky close against some pretty mad teams, but they're a pretty stacked team on offense. So they got to be 10-5, and they have a good record as well.
Yep. At number 5, I have your boys, the Cowboys. I got the Cowboys at number 5, sneaking their way in there. They've been the honorable mentions for the past 2 weeks, but man, that defense is just crazy. Even though they gave up a little bit more points than you would like, they still got a lot of turnovers and things. And then now with Dak there, the offense finally looked like what it should have looked from the beginning of the year without Dak getting hurt and all that other stuff. And I'll be honest, once I saw the way Dak and they performed last week against the Lions, I guess it was Lions, right? It was and then the Lions' defense is terrible. I was like, man. Maybe they just can't figure it out on offense. And then to this past week really assured me a lot that they'll be able to figure it out. And it was just first game slumps and all that other stuff. So I got them at 5. I'm glad they figured out the offense to get the rest up and then continue their hot streak.
Yep. 4, I have Dallas. Defense is obviously top 3 in the country, and offense is looking to be back to maybe where it was last year. Probably a little worse, but just good enough. Above average. Because this year offense is pretty bad around the entire league. But potentially going to be a super well-rounded team. So easily top 5 for me.
Yep. I agree. At number 4, I have the Chiefs. Got the Chiefs 4. I think they were I think they might have been in my honorable mentions last week. It is. Yeah, it was funny. I'm still completely sold on the Chiefs. I know they got Patrick Mahomes, but man, it just ain't throwing no one. They got Travis Kelce. I think the Chiefs are going to struggle when it comes to playoff time because they'll start running into really good defenses, and when you hone in on one guy, and I know Juju started to find a home there a little bit, but I don't think he can maneuver and get open on top corners. And I think once they lock in with against Kelce and stuff, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Chiefs right now, but I got them at 4.
My 3, still the Eagles. I have them at 3 probably nearly every week now. They remind me a lot of Dallas last year in the sense that when Dallas played bad, Dallas had an easy schedule last year. They'd play a bunch of bad teams, kill them. Whenever they play anybody good, they'd lose. Eagles play nobody good besides Dallas, pretty much. So only way they'll impress me this year with that schedule, it's probably all-time easy. It's wild. You see, just go look at their schedule, which is fine. Not knocking them on; they can't help it. Just keep going winning. But if they beat Dallas at Dallas, I'll be impressed, and I'll say dang, they're really shit. And I know they're good, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be kind of hard for me to grade until they play Dallas again, because it was close against them at Eagles. That's one of the few good teams they play. But obviously, very good still.
Okay. At 3, I have the Vikings. You have them at 5. I've had them in my top 5 for a while now. Like you said, they keep winning. No one wants to face this team at 1 o'clock, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I got them at 3.
My 2 is the Chiefs. What was I going to say?
Yeah.
Pretty obvious. Patrick Mahomes playing as good as he ever has. So.
At 2, I have the Bills. Get the Bills, Josh Allen. They got that loaded. That Dolphins loss is a little weird, but hey, look out for the Dolphins though. When Tua plays, they don't lose, man. That team's good. That team scores a lot of points. Defense is a little suspect, but they put up a lot of points. So, yeah. So, but anyways, I was just trying to Bills 1 loss to the Dolphins. I'm not gonna sweat that too much. Bills at 2.
Okay, my 1 is the Bills again, like it has been every week. I actually think the Dolphins loss will age well because they are undefeated with Tua.
Yep.
Not lost yet. Because I think the Dolphins actually are a really good team. Just losing him kind of cost and made the Bills look worse because of that. But kind of weird second half against the Packers last night. Josh Allen, they kind of quit too early. You could tell they were kind of coasting. Let's just throw the ball around. And they do 2 picks, but that defense is crazy. I just think they're clearly the best team. It's not close right now. Yeah. To me.
Yeah. At 1, I have the Eagles, undefeated team, and I think actually roster for roster, I think they've looked the best to me out of all the teams. I think they've looked better than the Bills personally, and they have just been. I'm here to say it. And I was with you on the train of Jalen Hurts is not good, or not that is not necessarily good, but he's nothing special and all this, and he's figured it out. Watched him play. The throws he makes are NFL-level throws, and he's figured it out there. Now, I'm officially ready to say that he's good, and he's not just system quarterback where he just doesn't have a talent around him. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, and I'm going to put respect on his name. So that's where I'm at with it. All right, so let's move on here. Zach Wilson did absolutely terrible, but that kind of leads into the headline of I thought it was very interesting that I guess it's Coach Slay. Is that what his name is? Slay. It's Saleh.
Oh, Robert Saleh, their head coach.
Whoa, I wasn't even close to that. That's bad. Anyway, he got asked a whole lot of questions about Zach Wilson still the guy, and me and you've already talked about this. And then his quote was, "He's our quarterback. He's still our guy." But so me and you are going to talk about this a little second here. Is Zach Wilson the guy there? So what I mean by that is like you get a top 10 pick, or you taking a quarterback for the Jets?
If I'm the Jets and I had a guy that I liked in the top 10, I would take a quarterback. Out of all the new quarterbacks from that last class, he's the only one that I'm out on. I was getting close out on Justin Fields. The way he's played against Dallas and the week before against the Patriots, he actually looks good. Like something they can build on. Zach Wilson's the only one to not show a single flash. Like something that would really – he's probably shown flashes of good throws, obviously, but something like a body of work. Like, oh, dang, he can make some throws.
Yeah.
He's not at all. And I think I'm out on him completely. I would be actually shocked if he ended up being a solid quarterback, a solid starting quarterback. Backup, maybe. But, yeah, I'm out on Zach Wilson.
If I am top 10 and I am the Jets and I get a pick in the top 10, that probably means Zach Wilson has still played really bad.
Yeah.
And if it's not C.J. Stroud, no, I do not take a quarterback. For me personally, if it's not C.J. Stroud, I'm not taking the quarterback. I'll take best available. Unless best available is the quarterback at the time, then maybe you make the move. But maybe even, dude, if you could go get like a really good another piece, all-around player, wherever that may be. I don't know where the Jets need players at. But wherever you can, you go get like a good player. I don't know if there's going to be any quarterbacks that are going to be on free agency or anything like that. But maybe you go sign a vet guy and try to go win next year. You might try to do that. You might be able to try to win next year with a rookie quarterback. I don't know, but I'm just saying. And I mean, even if Zach Wilson's not the guy, maybe you just get some good picks, and then I mean, I don't know. I know Joe Flacco's there as a backup. I don't know. I'm just throwing out things. I just don't think if it's not C.J. Stroud and the quarterback's not best available, then I'd say you probably pass up just now. Give him another year. Give him another year of a super talented roster around him. Just see what happens. You know, give him time to figure it out. But I would say as of right now, he's probably a bust. But just he has time. He still has the rest of the year or two to figure it out. So who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, so let's move on to our pick'ems. We are tied. You have came all the way back on me and dang NFL, dude. I fumbled the bag. So I'm 12-6. You're 12-6. Monday Night Football's about to start up. Let's pick that one. Bengals at Browns. Who you got? No Jamar Chase.
Yeah, at Browns. Browns have pretty good success defensively against the Bengals, and I think I want to take the Browns, man. I don't know. I just think they might be able to put too much pressure on. I'm going to take the Browns. One Browns over the Bengals.
Okay.
Ended the Bengals' hot streak. I just like the matchup on Browns defense. A lot of good pass rushers. Bengals no Jamar Chase, obviously. So I'm gonna go Browns.
Okay, I am also going Browns. I completely agree with you. I think that defense will get to them. Crowd's gonna be involved. Defense gets to Joe Burrow. No Jamar Chase. I don't think T. Higgins is a wide receiver one talent. So he is still really good. I get that, but we'll see how good he is going against one corners. Because I mean, I've seen clips of Jamar Chase having 3 people on him, and T. Higgins just standing there wide open. So it's like, we'll get to see how good T. Higgins is. Now, I love T. Higgins, huge Clemson guy. He's awesome for us. But I'm just saying, So I'm going Browns. I think Jamar Chase loss is going to hurt them a lot more than people think. So Tyler Boyd, people like that are going to have to step up. They'll have better corners on them now and things like that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go to Thursday Night Football, which is Eagles at Texans. Who you got?
Oh, I didn't know that was Thursday night. I got Eagles. Surely.
Surely.
That's a crazy bad Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Wow, probably getting scammed.
I will say this, though, something interesting to look out for. Texans, I think every single loss they've had has been won by one possession. If I know off the top of my head, or every game they've been in has been by one possession. So just something fun to poke at. Who knows? Might be close.
Yeah, Eagles are a bad second half team, so if it is close, I'd like to see the Texans win. I'd really like to see the Texans win. Dallas, but I think Eagles still got it.
Okay, yeah, I'm going Eagles too, by the way. But that's just something to look out for. It's kind of funny, man. Prime Video, like you said, just down bad. All right, Titans at Chiefs for Sunday Night Football. Who you got?
This one might get bad as well. I'd like to see the Chiefs win this one. Got them. Titans on a little win streak. But in my eyes, the Titans are like the equivalent of like a Cincinnati in college football. You play nobody, you beat them. You have a good record, you lose to good teams. That's how it's going to be. Titans are going to lose.
Yep, I think I also got the Chiefs. Especially, I don't know if Ron Tannehill's going to be back. Malik Willis looked terrible, so I don't know what they're going to do there. So maybe if Ron Tannehill's back, maybe he can manage a way to a close game in the fourth quarter. But if not, Derrick Henry's going to have a great game, which he could. Chiefs defense isn't nothing crazy, but there's a path there for the Titans. But I agree with you. I think Chiefs get it done. So let's move on. MLB, the series right now is tied 1-1. And this is going to be quick here, but are we changing any of our picks from who we had? I think I had Phillies in 6, and you had Astros in what? 6? Or 5 or something
5
like that?
or 6. I think it was.
You sticking with that?
5. Yeah, the game got postponed today.
Really? I didn't know that.
There's no game tonight. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm still sticking with my Phillies in 6, too. So we're still holding on. I just want to see if we got any changes there or anything like that. So let's move on. UFC. Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar. Arnold Allen got the knockout in round 2, which is pretty crazy, but it's not as expected. Calvin Kattar's, I guess he tore his ACL. Is that correct? Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he might have. Yeah, it was something.
He tore something pretty bad, and if you've seen the clip, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but it's bad. He jacks up his leg pretty rough there, and I don't know what's going on with UFC main events, man. It's like every other one's an injury or something. Yeah, especially the fight nights. Yeah. So hate that for Calvin Kattar too, because he kind of just got robbed to get Josh Emmett kind of a little bit, and then now
a little bit.
Yeah, and then he kind of pulls up here, and then this happens. So, man, I feel bad for him. Great for Arnold Allen though. I don't know who's winning that first round. I didn't watch the fight, so I'll be completely honest. So I don't know who's winning the first round, but we know Arnold Allen's good, and we both picked him. So we'll see what happens with him going forward there. Any comments or reactions about that fight?
Not really, no. It's Calvin Kattar, the way he fights, his style is to take a beating and still win.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess the ACL, so it probably has nothing to do with that. But in the future, I could see him having some issues because he does take a lot of punishment in his fights.
This could be the downslide, kind of. It feels like a little bit. He's been around for a second. Yeah. So
I think he's a little older, is he not? Mid-30s?
Yeah.
He probably is.
I don't know.
He's hard to gauge. He's kind of tall.
Yeah.
How old he is.
But if any of you guys got any questions now, ask them, sports related. Me and Jake will answer them. But Jake, what is your question of the week?
Okay. How shocked would you be if Josh Heupel went into an NFL job? On a scale of 0 being not surprised at all, or 10, the world's like blowing up and I'm shocked.
Well, are we talking head coach or offensive coordinator?
NFL job. Offensive coordinator is more likely, so just offensive coordinator.
Okay. Offensive coordinator, probably like a 5. Like,
You'd be kind of shocked.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, wow. Like, if you told me, I'd be like, wow, that's cool. And then, like, that'd be it.
Not cool.
Well, I guess not cool for you guys because you're Tennessee fans, but if he's Jaguars offensive coordinator, I'd be giddy.
Yeah.
Man, imagine leaving Tennessee to be the Jags offensive coordinator. Oh, no. That will never happen. I'm gonna go and put out something right here. No, I change it. If he goes and be an offensive coordinator in the NFL and leaves head coaching job at Tennessee, that's like a 10. I don't think he's,
okay.
I don't think he's that dumb. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
there ain't no way he'd do that. He'd probably be taking a pay cut, I would assume, with what they're going to probably try to pay him, and then like it's just I don't know. No. And then I don't think he's good enough to be a NFL head coach. That's like special. Well, I don't know how you can tell because it's hard to tell who's going to be good in the NFL or not. It's like. It's just a weird thing. So maybe his scheme. I don't know if his scheme would work in the NFL. Is what I'm saying. It's kind of
probably not.
It's kind of weird. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I would be, in all honesty, I'd be like an 8. It would shock me. I'd be very shocked, especially if. I mean, he's living his best life right now. He has to be, especially if he beats Georgia. Oh, I could imagine. So
yeah.
No fan questions, so that'll wrap it up. That's all I got. No NBA, nothing to talk about NBA related. And then college basketball, we start our pick'ems. That's the most competitive pick'em series, college basketball. Man. I get into college basketball pick'ems because that's all we talk about. College basketball is just pick'em. So, we really appreciate you guys watching. That's 50, halfway to 100, and like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.